Today we are breaking down a macronutrient number 2, protein. Remember, whenever we say macronutrient, it means that your body needs it in a large quantity. Welcome back to Basics with Dr. Loon. As you know, protein is one of the most discussed nutrients today, from high protein snacks to gym culture to weight loss trends. Protein is everywhere. So therefore, we are going to answer these questions. What is protein for real? What makes a food a protein? What does it do to your body? Can you eat too much? And what happens when you don't get enough? Let's go back to basics. Protein is one of the three macronutrients, along with carbohydrates and fats. Now, one more thing about macronutrients is that they provide energy and structural support. Protein itself is made of small building blocks called amino acids. Now, think of amino acids like small individual beads. When you string them together in different sequences, they provide different proteins, just like letters form different words. For example, the letters ARC in ARC can be resequenced to form rack or car. Same thing. Different words, same letters, different proteins, same amino acids. Your body uses 20 amino acids sequenced into different protein to do all its job. Now, among these 20 amino acids, 9 of them are essential and 11 of them non-essential. Now, essential does not mean more important. What it really means is that your body cannot make 9 amino acids, and it is your responsibility to make sure that you eat food to get all of them. So now, you don't need to remember or memorize the name of those amino acids, but you need to know which food to eat so you can get all of them. And we will cover that shortly in this video. Now you know that your body makes 11 non-essential amino acids, but among them, 8 are considered conditionally essential. That means under some circumstances like illnesses, a lot of stress, your body may not make enough. Again, you don't need to remember their name, but you need to know that you have the responsibility to manage your stress and stay healthy so that your body can work for you, making enough to keep you well. Now, let's talk about the 9 essential amino acids. Let's go. We get the 9 essential amino acids from food, and they combine in various proportions to form what is called complete or incomplete protein. An incomplete protein is one that has less than 9 amino acids, whereas a complete protein has all the 9 amino acids. As a matter of fact, a food is classified as a protein when that food has all 9 amino acids. You don't need to remember the names of the amino acids, but it is very important that you do know and remember where you can find protein. As you can see here, protein can be found in both animal-based and plant-based food. And animal-based, they are kings for complete protein. Here are some examples: poultry, fish, and so forth. You see that we have a milk in there. Now, we want to bring to your attention that it refers to animal-based milk only, not plant-based milk like almond or oat milk and so forth. But surprisingly, few plant-based food also have complete proteins. For example, soy products, quinoa, hemp seeds, chia seeds, buckwheat. And as you know, in general, plant proteins, they are incomplete, just like we find in beans, lentils, chickpeas, nuts, seeds, whole grains. But now, does that mean that incomplete plant protein cannot satisfy our protein need? Absolutely not. That's the reason why it is important to combine them in a way that is complementary. For example, when we consider rice and beans, none of them has the 9 total amino acids, but when combined together, 9 amino acids become available. Another example is hummus. We put hummus with all wheat, then 9 amino acids. One combination we do almost every day, peanut butter on whole grain bread, 9 amino acids. So, what about legumes? Some people believe that if they eat legumes only, they can satisfy their need for protein and good health. But unfortunately, legumes, they do not offer all the 9 amino acids. Therefore, if you decide that you don't want to add any meat products to your legumes, the best combination will be for you to add grains, nuts, or seeds. That way, you will be able to have all the 9 amino acids and provide them to your body to complete the 11 amino acids that your body is already making for you. Now that you know where to find and how to combine some of your incomplete proteins, which one is the best? Animal-based protein has 9 amino acids. That's what makes them complete. However, they lack the fiber, they lack the phytonutrients and the antioxidants that only plant-based proteins offers. Now, these elements, they are very important and even critical for balanced nutrition and overall health. Now remember, you don't really need to eat a complete protein at each meal. The real deal is to eat a variety of amino acid sources throughout the day. That way, your body will keep a pool and it will be able to get them whenever it's needed in order to keep you healthy throughout. But now, why so much emphasis on protein? It is estimated that the human body has at least 10,000 different types of proteins, and each type has a specific function that is vital for life. Let's go over some of the functions of protein. Number 1, protein maintains structure, providing a framework for the cells, tissues, muscles, skin, hair, and even collagen. And also it repairs all of them. For example, each time you exercise or you recover from illnesses, heal from surgery, or simply from your day-to-day activities, protein makes sure that all these tissues get repaired. Another function, protein produces enzymes and hormones. It speeds up metabolic reaction, digestions, and chemical processes. It also sends signals between cells, tissues, and organ. And also, some hormones are proteins like insulin and growth hormones. So, without protein, your body's communication system would not function properly. And also, protein is very active in your immune system. In fact, antibodies are proteins that fight viruses and bacteria. That means when your protein level is low, or when you do not incorporate protein into your diet, you are running the risk of weakening your immune system and causing yourself to be more vulnerable to infection. Another function of protein is that it provides balance in the fluid levels and pH of our body. That means without protein, our body could have been either too acidic or too alkaline, and also maybe we would be overloaded with fluid. But because of protein, everything is level. And also protein, do you know that it provides transport and storage by moving oxygen, nutrients from one cells, from one body, from one organ to the rest of the body. Example, hemoglobin. Hemoglobin from our red blood cell transport oxygen to the rest of the body. And so much for protein. Do you know that without protein, you would not be able to contract your muscles? You want to know? Try to remove myosin and actin from your muscles. See what will happen. No contraction. And also, protein is such a great teammate that when you decide to eat a very low carbohydrate diet, it picks up the task and provides you with energy. So you see, protein is very important for your life. So therefore, it is essential that you incorporate that into your diet. But the question is, how much do you need? The amount of protein you need daily depends on many factors. For example, for healthy adults with no issues, it is generally recommended 0.8 gram per kilogram of their body weight. That is, if you weigh, for example, 154 pounds, which is 70 kilograms, you will need to eat approximately 56 grams per day. But some people may need less. For example, if you have chronic kidney disease, you are not yet on dialysis, you will need to consume less protein so that you will prevent rapid progression of your kidney disease, and that way you will remove kidney workload. But if you start dialysis, you will need to consume more protein. But either way, if you have chronic kidney disease, please consult with your nephrologist for individual guidance. But other people may need to increase their protein intake daily. For example, athletes, people who are very active, women who are pregnant or breastfeeding, people recovering from illnesses, from surgery, and those who want to lose weight while keeping their muscles. Also, recent studies have shown that older adults and women in menopause, they can benefit from increased protein just so that they can preserve their muscle mass. And generally, it is recommended that 10% to 35% of our daily total calorie should come from protein. So you see, this is a wide range from 10% to 35%. So that means that your protein intake is not a one size fits all. So it is very important that you know where are you on the continuum and how much that you need so that you can help your body instead of hurting it. If you know that you are not eating enough protein, but you notice chronic fatigue, nails and hair that are thinning, frequent infections, and gradual muscle loss, you definitely need to get this checked because it could be signs of a mild or moderate protein deficiency. And if it is not corrected, that could lead to a more severe case of protein deficiency. And you definitely don't need that. So check it out and start adding protein to your diet for your health. As you can see, protein is not just about muscles. It helps immunity, hormones, healing structure, life itself. So nutrition does not have to be extreme. It just needs to be informed and balanced. So in our next video of a Back to Basics, we are going to put it all together into actionable, simple menu that will allow you to translate knowledge into real meals so that you can continue building a strong foundation to help you make wise and confident decisions about your health and nutrition. And if this was helpful, in the comments write protein, then like, subscribe, and share it with someone so they too can make informed decisions. Until then, I wish and I pray for your total health in your body, soul, and spirit. Shalom.